The Redmi Pad 2 Pro is probably the most hyped budget tablet of 2026. On paper, it looks insane. Big display, solid specs, and a massive battery. But after using this as my daily driver, I found two specific flaws that are absolute deal breakers. And honestly, it changed my entire opinion on this device. So if you're planning to buy this tablet, you need to see this first, as these aren't the issues that you're gonna see on the spec sheet. So today I'll be breaking down where the Redmi Pad 2 Pro gets things right, where it messes up, and most importantly, who should buy this tablet and who should absolutely avoid this tablet in 2026. I also tested out the Redmi Smart Pen, so watch till the end, as this could be either an absolute steal or rather a purchase that you might regret later. I'm Prithviraj and let's dive right in. Right out of the box, the Redmi Pad 2 Pro makes a very strong first impression. It weighs about 610 grams and 7.5 millimeters in thickness. The in-hand feel is quite great. I really like the size, to be honest. We get two color options, graphite grey and quicksilver. Build quality is solid. The design is simple but smart, as that camera bump we have here is quite subtle, so you can expect minimal desk wobble when you keep it flat. But one thing about the camera that I need to point out, only one of them is the camera. The other one is actually the flash under the camera cutout. Just Xiaomi gimmicks. The bezels aren't that thin, you can definitely notice them. Face unlock works well reliably even in low light, so that's a good addition as we don't have a fingerprint scanner on this tablet. Connectivity wise, you get Wi-Fi only as well as a 5G variant. The 5G model supports dual SIM. I'm currently using the Wi-Fi only variant, and it features this massive 12,000 mAh battery. Never seen that on any tablet yet, to be honest. And it supports 33 watts fast charging, and yes, we get the charger right inside the box. But the real surprise is the display, which is both the tablet's best feature as well as one of its weakest point. Let me explain. Now coming to the most important part of any tablet, and that is the display. It features a 12.1-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1600 by 2560 pixels, which is a 16:10 aspect ratio. Thus, it is ideal for watching videos. You will face slimmer black bars while watching movies on Netflix. Text looks great for reading and browsing. It also comes with a display refresh rate of 120Hz. Thus, scrolling and the overall UI navigation will feel smooth. But here's the problem: brightness. It has a peak brightness of only 600 nits. In darker movie scenes, it struggles because the contrast is weak and the blacks kind of look grayish, as you can see. You get Dolby Vision support, but the panel doesn't have that punch to make it shine. Auto brightness is inconsistent as well. Overall, it feels really dim and washed out compared to the other tablets in this price range. It is not the sharpest of the displays. Like, here is a side-by-side view with the OnePlus Pad Go 2. By the way, I'm currently working on a comparison video between the Redmi Pad 2 Pro and the OnePlus Pad Go 2. So yeah, hit subscribe and stay tuned for that. So the display was the first issue that I wanted to point out. But audio is where Xiaomi really delivered. 4 speakers with Dolby Atmos, and they get seriously loud without distorting. Plus, there is a 3.5mm headphone jack. That's a superb addition, as these are really rare these days. Bottom line is that the display is phenomenal for reading and casual browsing and stuff, but it can feel a bit underwhelming, mostly for video viewing. It comes down to your personal preference at the end of the day. And yeah, as I mentioned, the speakers are excellent. But now, can the performance keep up? Let's find that out. Now let us get into the business end of the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Let's talk performance. Under the hood, it features the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 chipset paired with 6 gigs or 8 gigs of RAM. It handles everyday tasks smoothly. We get two storage options, 128 gigs as well as a 256 gigs variant. Plus, we also have a micro SD card slot, even on the Wi-Fi only variant. Here are the benchmark scores on Geekbench, and as you can see, it's not the fastest tablet that you can get. And that's of course expected at this price point, but the main issue isn't really the hardware, but rather is the software optimization that can cause you issues. We will discuss that in more details in the software segment. But speaking of its raw power, multitasking works well with 2 to 3 apps, though occasionally apps refuse to cooperate. And in case you wanted to edit videos on this tablet, 1080p HD videos are workable, but it can feel slow and sluggish. But for 4K videos, forget it. It will really struggle. You're gonna face random stutters and long export times that is gonna really make your experience frustrating. But for everyday use cases, it's generally fine if you're just watching videos and streaming. Gaming is also decent for casual titles like Asphalt and BGMI. Rather, it was working well with COD Mobile as well. It had occasional lags, but that's not really a deal breaker. But with demanding games like Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact, it will struggle a lot unless you drop down to low graphics settings. I tested out the gaming benchmarks on 3D Mark. It had a 97.7% stability, which is quite good. But the thing is that the frame rates were really bad, like really bad at 1 to 4 frames at high graphics. So if you're one of those rare people who want a tablet for gaming purposes, then this isn't really the one for you. But if you play games games casually, it will work out just fine. Thermals were rather great, no uncomfortable heating even during extended gaming sessions. The battery life is phenomenal. I got 13 to 14 hours of multitasking and 7 to 8 hours of intense gaming. You can get 2 full days between charges easily, but the charging is kind of slow as the 33 watts take about 2 hours to charge. I also had a great time editing photos with the Redmi Smart Pen on Lightroom Mobile, but we will talk more about the stylus a bit later. But great hardware is often held back by messy software, which brings us to the biggest problem. The software is kind of rough. It runs on Xiaomi HyperOS, which is a skinned version of Android 15, so you're not getting Android 16 out of the box. It has a very iPad-inspired layout with all the apps on your home screen. We don't have an app drawer by default, but you can of course enable that if you wanted to. Let's talk about the good part first. Xiaomi has promised 5 years of Android upgrades, followed by 7 years of security patches. This will surely help you future-proof your device. And that's quite an excellent offering at this price. Now, speaking of the software itself, it's not very optimized for the hardware. Like, let me share my own experience when I first booted up this tablet. Google Play Store almost took like 10 minutes to even open. I legit had to install the new update in order to get that fixed. In the end of the day, it's a Xiaomi device, so we have a few unwanted apps installed by default, bloatware as it is called. Though the bloatware is minimal compared to the other Xiaomi devices, which is good, but I needed to point this one out. The software performance is quite inconsistent. Apps often take a moment to launch, random lags, stutters, and occasional crashes. I face them all. This isn't hardware, it's just poor software optimization, and that can get genuinely annoying. Also, just like its younger sibling, the Redmi Pad 2, the Redmi Pad 2 Pro has that screen orientation issue as well. Like, it takes a brief moment even to get the screen orientation right. Multitasking works well when it does. You can drag apps into split screen or floating windows, but the apps sometimes refuse to resize or randomly close. It feels unpolished, but this is something Xiaomi can fix with a software update. So I really hope we get that soon. Overall, I did find the software to be a bit laggy, and that can get really annoying with long-term usage, especially once your tablet starts to age. Now, before we talk about the stylus experience, let us quickly check out the cameras. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro features an 8-megapixel back camera, and as I mentioned earlier, the second camera cutout is actually the flash. It also features an 8-megapixel front camera, and thankfully it is placed on the horizontal bezel, thus making it ideal for video calls. So this is how the front camera looks like on the Redmi Pad 2 Pro, and to be honest, not really a fan. It kinda has a weird exposure thing. As you can see, it is like blowing up this part of me. But for attending meetings and video calls, you won't really face any issues, just it's not in the best quality, and that's totally fine for a tablet front camera. Now let us talk about the stylus experience. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro supports the Redmi Smart Pen, and that is sold separately, so keep that in mind. But here's where I face the first problem. It doesn't attach magnetically to the tablet. You will need to buy the Xiaomi official case with a stylus holder in order to keep it secure. That's an extra purchase and really a hassle, but the rivals of this tablet like Lenovo and Samsung handles this one better, as you can attach them. Also, you can charge the stylus via the USB Type-C port. Alright, another issue with the design of the stylus is that the 2 actions button that we have are very close to the area where you actually grip your stylus. I pressed the buttons many times while writing accidentally. Also, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you're finding this review helpful. I tested out the Redmi Smart Pen extensively, and here's the truth. It's functional, but it's very limited. There is noticeable latency between writing and the strokes appearing on the screen. If you have used the S Pen by Samsung or even the Lenovo Pen Plus, you will feel the difference immediately. It kind of breaks the natural flow while writing, especially when taking quick notes. Palm rejection works most of the time, but it's not really perfect. You'll get those occasional accidental marks from your hand. For quick and small notes, it's kind of manageable, but for longer writing sessions, that can get really annoying. The writing just works okay-ish. It doesn't really feel that smooth as I would have liked it to, and overall, it kind of feels plasticky. Pressure sensitivity is basic. You can vary stroke thickness, which is nice for sketching, but it's not precise enough for detailed art. There is a slippery plastic on plastic sensation while writing. In short, it kinda lacks the friction required for writing smoothly. It doesn't really feel natural. You are dragging plastic across plastic, and it's genuinely distracting. The default Xiaomi Notes app is quite basic as well. It handles simple note-taking but occasional stutters. On the other hand, the MI Canvas app was actually much better. The writing experience was simply miles ahead of the default Xiaomi Notes app. Rather, if you want the best writing experience on this tablet, then check out the third-party apps like Notewise, Nebo, or Squid instead. They will handle the stylus input better, offer more features, and they feel much more responsive. For planning my day, I was using my daily planner template on Notewise, where I assign all my tasks for the day and also plan out what all I need to get done throughout the week. This really helps me stay a lot more productive and accountable. We'll be leaving a link of the template in the description box below the like button in case you would be interested in that. Bottom line, for students who want to use it for basic note taking and lecture notes, as well as if you wanted to do some quick sketches, it will work out well while using third-party apps. But that plastic-like feel and the latency issues will make extended use unpleasant. So if note taking is your primary use case and you have a little bit more budget, check out the Samsung Galaxy Tab lineup. It comes with the S Pen, or rather check out its older sibling, the Xiaomi Pad 7, as the Xiaomi Focus Pen offers a much better writing experience. Alright, so after a full week of using the Redmi Pad 2 Pro, what's the final call? Let's wrap this up. So here is a screenshot of the current price of the Redmi Pad 2 Pro as well as the Redmi Smart Pen on Amazon. Now it's time to answer the most important question. Is it one of the best budget tablets in 2026? Battery life is the best in class, 13 to 14 hours of usage and 2 days between charges easily. Speakers are excellent with Dolby Atmos as well as a headphone jack, but the software is a mess. Random lags, inconsistent performance and occasional freezes will make it quite frustrating. The display brightness is poor for video along with its weak contrast. The hardware is capable, but the software is kind of holding it back. So is it worth buying? If you prioritize reading and battery life, need 5G support and you are on a very tight budget, then yes. Also, if you're a student who is buying a tablet for basic note taking, it could work as well. But if you want a smooth software experience or you're buying it mainly for video watching, then skip this one rather. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro has standout features, but those are held back by poor optimization. So is this the best budget tablet of 2026? Not really, as there are much better options available in the market. So if you're in the hunt for the best budget tablets and you are looking for different options, then click here on this video and over there we have discussed about the 5 of the best budget tablets in 2026. See you there.
Alright, so this is actually the worst part of the tablet, and that is the default wallpaper. Like, this is the ugliest default wallpaper I have seen on any tablet till this day. Like, anyway.